Let me be frank when I say that Dinesh D'Souza is a dishonest hack. And that's putting it nicely. He's notorious for making outright false claims on all sorts of topics, ranging from philosophy to politics and to history. So when I hear him say something really stupid, it shouldn't really surprise me. But when I see D'Souza denigrate the work of arguably the greatest English philosopher who has ever lived, I can't keep quiet. In his book, What's So Great About Christianity, D'Souza claims that the distinction between religion and science isn't always clear. Contrary to the thoughts of other theologians and scientists, science and religion don't always operate in separate realms. For example, religion makes claims about nature just like science. So right off the bat, we have some major problems. Why is D'Souza asserting that the Bible makes claims about nature, as if that position is self-evident? Wasn't it St. Augustine that warned of the dangers of biblical literalism? Wasn't it Thomas Aquinas that claimed whenever there was a contradiction between Scripture or science, then we are mistaken in our interpretation of Scripture or science? Even if the Bible was completely inconsistent and erroneous, that doesn't necessarily invalidate Christianity. All it would show is that the Bible is a flawed attempt to understand God. But anyway, D'Souza gets to his argument against Hume. He states Hume's argument as follows. 1. A miracle is a violation of the known laws of nature. 2. We know these laws through repeated and constant experience. 3. The testimony of those who report miracles contradicts the operation of known scientific laws. And 4. Consequently, no one can rationally believe in miracles. Anyone who's actually read Hume would understand that this isn't his argument at all, but here's D'Souza's response anyway. 1. A miracle is a violation of the known laws of nature. 2. Scientific laws are on Hume's own account, empirically unverifiable. 3. Thus, violations of the known laws of nature are quite possible. 4. Therefore, miracles are possible. At this point, it's clear that D'Souza doesn't actually understand Hume. If he did, he would understand that even if we grant him all of his premises, he still fails to counter Hume. The problem is that D'Souza acts as if Hume is making a metaphysical claim about the laws of nature, but he isn't doing that at all. Here's what Hume actually says. You see, Hume isn't trying to prove the impossibility of miracles. In fact, he allows the metaphysical possibility of an intervening deity. There could very well be a deity who might break the laws of nature and allow miracles to happen. But experience is our only guide to whether such miracles have occurred. So if we are to believe personal testimony about miracles, it must be good testimony. Very, very good testimony. If anything, Hume is making a very ingenious economical argument. Consider these two different cases. In case 1, person A says that X happened, but in reality, X did not actually happen. In case 2, person B says that X happened, but in reality, X did happen. Each of these statements has a certain probability attached to it. I have to decide which scenario is more improbable, and based on that, I reject the greater miracle. But, as Hume points out, virtually all stories about miracles are completely false. The many instances of forged miracles and prophecies and supernatural events which, in all ages, have either been detected by contrary evidence or which detect themselves by their absurdity, prove sufficiently the strong propensity of mankind to the extraordinary and the marvelous, and ought reasonably to beget suspicion against all relations of this kind. And Hume gives us a lot of reasons why people make such ridiculous stories. People lie, others are delusional, some want to sell a story for personal gain. Many reports of miracles come from barbarous times and places. Now all of a sudden the hurdle that no testimony is sufficient to establish a miracle unless the testimony be of such a kind that its falsehood would be more miraculous than the fact which it endeavors to establish is looking pretty hard to climb. So does D'Souza give us any evidence that any sort of miracles have happened? No. No, he doesn't. Instead, he retreats to, I am merely saying that if it might happen one day, then it could have happened before. But this doesn't even come close to meeting Hume's objection. I personally don't feel like going through D'Souza's other twisted explanations of Hume, Kant, and other philosophers, so I'll cut off here. While I do harbor a certain distaste for Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris, and other new atheists, their mistakes pale in comparison to their Christian apologetic opponents.